Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm going to be doing this review on this SetPower 12 volt fridge here, kind of backwards. So I've had this sitting outside of my house here in Texas the last week, and here's kind of a snippet of the last 5 days and a few days going forward. We've been over 100 degrees every day. This is the hottest portion of the summer we've had in Texas, and this SetPower 45 quart cooler has done absolutely fantastic out here in this heat. And what makes it great is that this is the cheapest cooler that I think I've ever reviewed of this size category with a 3-year warranty, guys. So this cooler is one to definitely take a look at. But if you can get a glimpse here, I've been keeping my thermometer out here, and you can see here the high that it's gotten out here is 102.9. The low is 80 degrees. Right now it's only 88 degrees outside because it's 9 o'clock in the morning. But this thing's been sitting out here for 5 days, running like a champ. So you can see here, this is a dual zone fridge. Let me get that out of the way. I actually have popsicles in that side. I've got our drinks in that side. So it technically is a true dual zone. You cannot take out like a divider. It's 1 and 2. And then down here, you've got very easy to control settings. You've got your left side and you've got your right side. Right now I've got the left side set to 0, and the right side, the bigger side with the drinks, I have it set to 34, and it's maintained temperature the entire week. I do have it set on max because I do have it plugged in over there behind my couch, so I don't need to keep it on eco mode. And I've got the battery protection set to low. But this thing is just rocking and rolling, guys. So this right now is at around 32, 34 degrees, which is exactly what I have that set for right there. So I'm gonna enjoy this cooler this weekend, and then I'm gonna take it in the garage and kind of go over some more details about it. But so far, guys, honestly, out of all the coolers that I've had, this thing has performed absolutely fantastic for 300 bucks. It's like $303 on Amazon right now, and that is an absolute steal in my opinion for a 45 quart cooler, dual zone. I honestly cannot find anything wrong about it. But we're gonna enjoy pool day, and I'm gonna pull this thing back into my garage and do a little bit more testing on it and show you folks a little bit more in detail about it. But so far, it's been really, really good. And well, I've had another change of plans. We use this cooler for the last 5 days out here. Over the weekend, the freezer did great. It kept the kids' popsicles actually frozen, which is pretty tough to do when it's 105 degrees. In fact, today it's gonna be 109 is what they're calling for. So instead of taking this thing in the garage and doing a boring spec review, I'm gonna keep it here because I think this is where I'm gonna keep this cooler from here on out, is just use it as an outside type beverage fridge. But it is Monday morning, 7:35 a.m. and I'm going to plug in this watt meter. I wanna do a 24-hour power test to see how many watts this cooler uses in a 24-hour time span, to give you folks an idea, if you're gonna take this camping, what size power station you would need in terms of watt hours to keep this running. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna keep this on max setting. I have changed the freezer side since the kids ate all of the popsicles. The freezer side is now at 32 degrees. So I'm not running this as a freezer anymore. I've got both zones set to 32 degrees. I do still have some drinks in here, so it is not an empty cooler. But anyway, I'm gonna get this watt meter hooked up, let it run for 24 hours, see how many watts this thing pulls in that time period, to give you folks an idea. Again, 109 degrees today. It is under the shade, but this is in an extreme environment, I would say. So it's probably gonna use quite a bit of wattage, but you can kind of use this as a worst case scenario if you're gonna take this thing out camping in the fall when it's not 109 degrees outside. But I gotta get this thing plugged in behind the couch over there. So I'm gonna set the camera down, let this thing run for 24 hours, and I'll come back and let you know how many watts we had to use to keep this cooler running and maintain that 32 degrees. All right, gang, it is the next day. It is around 8 a.m., 8:02 a.m. So it's been about 24 hours since I've plugged up that watt meter. So I'm gonna reach down there, unplug it, let you see how many watts this freezer used over a 24-hour period. And guys, it got up to 107 degrees out here last night. And I'm looking for my thermometer. So before we get to that watt meter, check this out, guys. The high, 108 degrees here in the shade. And that's set to 36 degrees. The small freezer side actually is a little bit colder, but it is a smaller compartment. But let's see what this thermometer actually says it is. So that is right at 30 degrees. That's pretty outstanding considering how hot it was, but I gotta unplug that and then we'll walk through what we used. $670 watt hours is all that took to run 24 hours in over 100 degrees for most of the day, over 100 degrees. That's 67 kilowatts, so that's 670 watt hours. 24 hours, 27 minutes is what this was hooked up for. 120 volts. That's really, really efficient, guys. So real world use case, we had 24, we still got some food in here for the kiddos. We had 24 of these slim can boxes, 12 pack each, fit just fine. We actually had 6 of these little primes in here with still a lot of room up front. But just in case any of y'all are wondering, the depth on that is 14 inches. The width is about 10.5 inches. And the length on this thing is about 11.5 inches. And that's for the big side. Now what I was using for my freezer side, the actual freezer section is about 8 1/8 inches deep. Same thing, about 11.5 inches by, let's go with about 7 inches. So the freezer side is obviously a little bit smaller, but to use this thing for the weekend, between that and this is my opinion more than enough room. You got an LED on that. Of course, this is not plugged in anymore, so that LED light's not on, but you have an LED on this side. You got an LED on that side. Just powered through this hot weekend like a champ. So gang, that's gonna be it. I don't want to go over all the boring specs. I just wanted to physically use this cooler, and we had this out here on the patio now running. This is the 8th day it's been out here. 24 hours, you use 670 watt hours, so you can get a pretty mid-size power station to run it for at least 24 hours. And this was in extreme conditions, over 100 degrees. So typically, it's not gonna be that hot when you're using it, so it's not gonna have to, that compressor's not gonna have to run as long, but at only 670 watts for almost 24 hours, that's very, very efficient for a 12-volt cooler. So I'm very pleased with that. And it's just, the controls are easy. There's no fancy bells and whistles on this thing. There's no Bluetooth, which I'm totally fine with. I honestly never used the Bluetooth feature on some of these coolers. These are real easy to configure and get to. You don't have to use an app. Everything's on the front. It's built well. It's very cheap, 300 bucks for a 45 quart cooler and 3-year warranty, gang. So there's nothing I can say that I don't like about this cooler. I used it for 8 days out here in the heat and it worked great. And I'm gonna keep it out here and use this cooler for our playtime adult beverages and kid snacks while we're out here playing in the summer. So it's just done great. But anyway, gang, I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link for this cooler. I am not sponsored by SetPower, so I don't get any kind of money. If you buy this, SetPower did send this to me to review, which I did, which I'm telling you about. So I am happy with it. It worked great. I can't find any real problems with it, especially for the price. So gang, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you soon. Take care.